So, first question I want to ask is, how many of you are active on social media or digital, have a website? Is pretty much everybody in the room? How many of you have an actual strategy? Yeah, I'm seeing some ifs there. And see, that's where this whole digital world becomes kind of a maze. It's, you start seeing some results here, and then this new platform comes out here, another one comes out here. Oh, this one's good for this age group. This one's good for getting people to my website. It becomes a kind of a mystery. So you find yourself not really focusing your time or efforts necessarily in the right places. Yes, you're making a Facebook post, but should you be also on Instagram? Things like that. That's where this presentation is going. It's going to kind of walk you through how to come up with your own strategy and hopefully make it so that you're more efficiently marketing your business. I'm going to start off here with a quote. We have the technology, finally, that for the first time in human history allows to really maintain rich connections with much larger numbers of people. And that's what this digital world is all about. It's making rich connections. It's creating engagement with with your clients and your business that we never really had before. Before we had print advertising, newspaper, TV, radio. You couldn't engage with it. Aside from, the water cooler saying, hey, did you see that funny commercial? But, now we're actually able to interact with our businesses. So, why digital marketing? Hopefully I don't need to answer that one. So, we're going to talk about kind of 3 different things here. First is I'm going to go over kind of some basic essentials that anybody's going to need, kind of the foundation for what you're going to need to actually succeed. First thing is your website. How many of you have a website? Yay, everybody. All right. First thing to always remember, and I'm pretty sure if you've attended this before, you've heard it probably 7 times, and there's a reason why you've heard it 7 times. Content is king. Content matters. If you don't have good content on your website, you might as well not have a website. Nowadays, mobile friendly is required. The majority of web traffic now is smartphones. If you don't have a website that somebody can easily read on your smartphone, you're losing out on all kinds of potential. Next thing, Google Analytics. How many of you have Google Analytics set up on your website? Fair number. How many of you actually read your Google Analytics? Hey, all right. It's a much larger response than I got last time, so kudos to you guys. How many of you know what the Search Console is? So the Search Console within Google Analytics allows you to get a little bit more in depth with how people are finding you from organic search. So it's going to show you the keywords that people are using, the search terms, things like that. It's going to give you some ideas for content, which we'll get into in a little bit. So now that we've got a website with Google Analytics and great content, what's the next thing we're going to need? We're going to need a contact page or a contact form. If you don't have a contact page or a contact form on your website, again, you might as well not have a website, because people generally go to a website for information, and if they can't get that information directly and they can't get in touch with you, if you can't generate a lead, what's the point? Next, pop-up boxes. Pop-up boxes work. I'm going to mention one here in a second, but don't get aggressive with your pop-ups. Don't be annoying. The next is chats. Does anybody have a chat on their website right now? Do you actively monitor it? Awesome. So chats work great, especially with autoresponders. If you go to the Element 212 website, what you'll find is after about 6 seconds or so, it's going to pop up with my name on there that says, "Hi, is there anything I can help you with?" And I would say I get probably 3 to 5 questions a day. So as I mentioned, the pop-up boxes and the contact forms, This tool is a free tool by HubSpot. I'm generally not a big fan of HubSpot, but big fan of this tool. It is an easy code-free setup if you guys are running a WordPress site. It gathers information from all the forms across your page and will actually mine data about that user from social media profiles. So you can kind of get a little bit more in depth about who is actually filling out this form. But one of my favorite things, it actually tracks the pages that the people are visiting. So if you've got, if you're the Salon Academy and you see this person fill out a form on your enrollment page, you can see, how many other pages they've gone to, or what they might be interested in if they've gone to financial aid pages, so on and so forth. So you're actually able to contact that customer with a little bit of insider information that'll make you stand apart from other competitors. Next part, it integrates with a lot of popular CRMs and mail tools. Is anybody using like MailChimp, Constant Contact, GetResponse? You can develop and pull all of your contacts that you generate from this form directly into those programs. So there, we're building our database, we're generating leads for ourselves. All good things. Next one, this is the chat tool that we use. It's a free tool. There's a premium version of it. We pay for the premium version. I think it's $20. But it allows for custom branding. It, again, works really well with almost any platform, especially WordPress. I'm a big fan of WordPress. The other bright side about this one that I failed to mention was this one will also track the user. So you're able to see what page they're on when they're actually speaking to you. How many of you have heard the term reputation management? One. Wow. All right. So, definition: the practice of attempting to shape the public perception of a person or organization by influencing online information about that entity. You probably know what I'm talking about on this next slide here. Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Yelp, all of these offer review services. So, reputation, you're going to want to make sure that you have all of these things established for your business, because there's a good chance you already exist. Google might already have a page for you. Facebook is really good about this, generating Facebook, they call them place pages for your business, where you might have 3 really bad ratings already that you don't even know about, but when people are looking for your business on Facebook, that's what they see. Same thing with Yelp. They will generate review pages for you. So you want to make sure that you are monitoring any place they can put out information about your business. All right, so we've got our foundation laid. What's next? SEO and content. I know last month we talked a little bit about, was it last month we talked about SEO? Yeah. So I didn't really get too much in depth there, but SEO and content go hand in hand. The basics. You're going to want to make sure that you're registered and verified with Google Business. If you're not, then you're going to be relatively invisible, especially if your business has a physical location or a retail location. It is a great way to get yourself higher up in the rankings and into what's called the map pack. When you're searching for a pizza place or whatever it may be, the map that pops up on Google is the first thing you see. So that is a very good, cheap way of getting yourself out there and noticed. The next thing is keyword saturation. Because we have Google Analytics and Google Search Console put together on our website, we're going to know what terms people are looking for. So we're going to want to make sure that we get those keywords on our website through content as much as possible. It used to be you could just chalk your meta tags and all your titles and information filled with the keywords, but it doesn't work like that anymore. Google now actually crawls through your website and reads the content as a person would read it. So if you have a long stream of keywords that make no sense, you're going to rank lower than your competitor. The next tool, how many of you blog? No bloggers over here. Oh man, all right. It's a great way to get content on your website. It's a great way to help your SEO because we know the keywords the things people are searching for. We know kind of the longer tail keywords. We know the topics that will drive traffic to our website. So if I'm the United Way, I'm going to be writing probably fundraising tip blogs, event blogs. I'm going to talk about emergency readiness.
We tried it 4 or 5 years ago and just didn't get much.
How much did you blog?
How much did I blog? I can't stand blogs, so I don't really do.
See, that might be why it didn't work for you.
I did 1 or 2.
See, 1 or 2 blogs isn't going to cut it.
I mean, we had everybody on staff doing them.
Oh, okay.
A few months.
See, again, a few months isn't a long enough time frame there. With blogging, you have to stay consistent. You have to do, your one blog a week or 2 blogs a week for 6 months before you're really going to start seeing a really big impact. Or, after you've been blogging for long enough, you can actually go back through Google Analytics, see which are your most popular blogs, and kind of retool those, revamp those, try to generate more traffic that way.
Yeah, it's probably only have 1 person looking at the analytics. I don't know why I did blog.
Yeah, there is value, definitely. So, we've got that set up. Now we're going to go on the social media mystery tour. Small little Beatles reference there. With these, I'm just going to basically talk about all the platforms and kind of give you an idea of what businesses this would be relevant for. And again, any questions, feel free to raise your hand or just yell at me. First one, definitely the most popular one, Facebook. Target demographics, everyone. Everyone is on Facebook. I say, well, I think it's some 200 million people in the US are on Facebook. That's what, 2/3 of the entire US population. And people are going to try to tell you that the millennials aren't using Facebook. They're wrong. They still are using Facebook, especially if you're in this area. This area is very popular on Facebook amongst all demographics. So the pros. Everyone is on Facebook. Facebook is kind of the king of social media. The live video. Has anybody done the Go Live? Facebook's really pushing that right now. So if you have the opportunity to go live with your business, highly recommend it. It's getting a ton of organic reach right now, non-paid reach. And it's going to send out notifications to a lot of your followers. The next best part, advertising. I love Facebook advertising. How many of you have used Facebook advertising? Good number. So the cons. Everyone is on Facebook. It makes it so that you can get lost, especially on a business page. With what they've done on the new algorithm changes, they've almost made it so that if you don't have good content, if your audience isn't actively engaging with your content on a regular basis, you're not going to be seen. You're going to be forced to advertise. The first change or the first shift happened back in April of 2015, and we're in the midst of another transition. So it's going to put all of its focus and attention on getting your friends' content in front of you. So next I'm going to talk about Twitter. Target demographic is kind of 14 to 40 is the majority of users on Twitter. What you're going to see is people use this for news. A lot of people are using this for news more and more, as well as celebrity interaction, and B2B, B2C resources. I'm not a big fan of Twitter. I personally think Twitter is kind of slowly dying off. People just don't use it to engage with each other or to necessarily engage with business. It's primarily, like I said, used for finding news, finding very current information. So you want to tailor your any kind of strategy or any kind of posting from Twitter to be very informative. You don't want to tweet out, follow us on Facebook, because there's no point. If you have some breaking news or some news about your business, that's what you're going to want to put out there, or something new within your industry, or anything along those lines. So the pros: you have a national reach, or a national audience, international audience. People are constantly searching through trending hashtags, things like that. So there is some value. You have the potential to get retweeted. One retweet from a major company in your industry is going to get you a very strong reach number. So the next is kind of the ease of engagement with influencers, like I said. So one person within your industry that's well known gives you a retweet or a mention, and you're going to get quite a bit of exposure there. The cons: saturation of businesses and RSS feeds. Is anybody familiar with what an RSS feed is? Most people, hopefully, no. It's short for really simple syndication. It's basically a way of pushing out news. So what people have figured out is they can auto-tweet based on these RSS feeds. So you're just getting a bunch of the same content over and over again. It's very saturated with that. And then, how many are on Twitter? For business or personal? Both? So the non-authentic interaction, I can't tell you how many followers I get on a daily basis that I'm sure are not real. And I think Twitter's got a real problem, a real spam problem with that. Next, I'm going to talk about LinkedIn. How many of you are on LinkedIn? How many of you have a business page? Handful. I am becoming a big fan of LinkedIn here recently. Within the past year or so, I think they've really taken a shift into being a useful social media platform, especially if you're in a B2B or, in my opinion, a nonprofit industry. So talk about target demographics. 20 to 50 and it's 60% male. And males tend to engage with it quite a bit more than females. By engage, I mean actively checking it, looking through status updates, liking, sharing things. They're much more likely to actually engage with the content. So this is, like I said, going to be primarily B2B with, I think there's a big opportunity right now for employee recruiting and volunteer recruiting, as well as fundraising. Right now, how many nonprofits are in here right now? LinkedIn allows volunteer recruiting and sponsored posts at a 90% discount rate. So you're able to advertise on there for your volunteer opportunities for, I think it's $10 a month, or $10, yeah, I believe it's $10 a month. It's next to nothing as far as advertising is concerned. And then fundraising. Utilizing that volunteer base that you're creating through LinkedIn, I see there's a strong shift into using the LinkedIn posting, sharing, connecting to start generating more funds. Facebook is it's not very good for fundraising. People don't tend to interact unless you're tugging at the heartstrings, cancer kids or whatever it may be. You're probably not going to get any involvement there. Last part, the cons. It's got a smaller number of active daily users. But what that means is that anything that you're putting out on LinkedIn has a longer lifespan. So the average lifespan of a Facebook post, 24 to 36 hours. The average lifespan of a tweet, I think, is 6 hours. But the average lifespan of a LinkedIn post is about 3 days. So the information that you're putting out there is staying out there much longer. Next, Pinterest. I really love Pinterest for business. I really hate it personally. I hate Pinterest. 80% female. That is astounding. If you are trying to target females, this is where you want to be. Primarily too with the B2C market. What Pinterest does is it's not very strong for local business, but if you have a national audience, things tend to go viral. Or if you have an online e-commerce business, things get spread all across the country and with relative ease. There are tools out there. How many of you use Pinterest for your business? Used to, stopped? It's not local enough for you, I'm guessing, right? Yeah. Well, I won't spend too much more time on this one because I really don't like Pinterest. I'll just be honest. Yeah, the cons, again, it's 80% female. If you're trying to target males, go somewhere else. All right. Next, we've got Instagram. How many of you are on Instagram? All right. Instagram is primarily the 14 to 34-year-old millennial market. However, it is since Facebook took it over, it is getting older rapidly. And you're seeing people, especially now that it's opened up to advertising, I've noticed a lack of really good business content nowadays. I think it's just because of the advertising and the fact that almost anybody can do it. It's not as fun. One thing you want to keep in mind with Facebook, I keep going back to Facebook, Instagram, is that it's very hard for a business to create any kind of messaging on there because people don't go to Instagram to look for, they don't want to read. They want to scroll through happy pictures and double tap. That's all they want to do. So, for the United Way, I don't know if that's going to be necessarily the best way to spend your time. For the library, I think this is great. Do you guys get pretty good engagement? How many followers do you have? It's not bad. Yeah. The Salon Summit. Thank you. It's going to be great for you because there's tons of hashtags. You're going to get all kinds of recognition on there, tons of likes, tons of engagements. Miller Huggins, I really don't want to see copiers on my Instagram feed. So you might want to avoid that one. So the big cons with Instagram is, like I mentioned, the lack of text in the images, as well as a lower click-through rate. You can't you can't link in your actual post. You can only link on ads, so you're not going to get any kind of click-through traffic. Then here recently, I put this as a neutral. I haven't really seen it pan out very far, but it's the feed algorithm integration. So it used to be, it was all chronological, and now it's not. So you're seeing posts from a couple days ago, then a post from an hour ago, then a post from 3 minutes ago. It's very annoying, in my opinion. Essentially the most important, Snapchat. Has anybody figured out Snapchat in this room? We got.
My niece's babies show up on Snapchat constantly.
So we've got a couple people that are good with Snapchat here. That's good. So right now, I think Snapchat is driving marketers crazy and businesses crazy because we're trying to figure out how to use this freaking tool to our advantage. It's almost impossible to do anything with it if you're not in front of it, because it is all about authentic interaction with a person or with a business. You can't take a picture, design a photo, design something. It has to be authentic. It has to be real. And then the other part is there is very little metrics, so you really don't know who you're getting to. But if you know you want to reach millennials, this is the way to go. We've got one of our clients is an ice cream shop. Yeah, get on Snapchat. Here recently, one thing that we're going to be at Element 212 are going to be testing out is geo-targeted filters, sponsored geo-filters. Are you familiar, my Snapchatters out here, geo-filters?
Like the 8500
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Well, if you have, I'm not really sure how this works for nonprofits. I'll have to look into that one. But you can create a boundary around your business, around your target area, and anybody on Snapchat can like filter through. This one's really hard to explain. Can take a picture and then overlay kind of an image over the photo. Is that making sense right now? Okay. So for, I think it might be for nonprofits, they allow you to submit these for free. We're currently in the process of trying to get one for downtown Anderson. For the people that are familiar with Snapchat, it is very intuitive. You know, because you're always, the point of Snapchat is fun, and you're always, you know, using new lenses. You know, have you seen on some get shared on Facebook, like the bee face and the little, I don't even know what that is. Technically, I think their terms of service is 14. So I don't think you're technically allowed to be on Snapchat if you're younger than 14. But well, I'm not going to tell Snapchat, so it's fine. So the best part about, or the worst part about Snapchat is figuring it out, as well as being able to integrate it in your business. Because with Snapchat, you're going to have a dedicated person that you can actually trust, or an employee that you can trust with your brand image to be putting your content out there on Snapchat. All right, any other, oh, yeah.
So how would we market that to potential people? How would we get them to be our Snapchat friend or whatever?
That is one of the other difficult parts about Snapchat, is getting people to discover you organically. Really the best way to do it is with the, have you seen the little ghost codes? You know what I'm talking about? Just posting those out around or in your business is going to be the best way. Yeah.
Goods does it, and they actually have the Snapchat thing on their register.
Yeah.
That's the reason I had it in, because it was right there.
Yeah.
And they have a tool that you can literally just scan it, and then it'll automatically add it. Is there any significance to do it just event-based?
That's where I think there's another opportunity. One of our clients, as a special needs product provider, they go to conferences all the time. So here coming up in October, I think we're going to do our first trial of an event for them to, again, just try and do some kind of brand awareness kind of thing. But I'm not sure how Snapchat wants to make sure that it's providing good content. So I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work yet. So just keep in touch on that one. I would definitely, as a team, kind of talk about goals and strategy. But I think having one person dedicated to one platform is a good thing, because you're going to have a consistent voice. If you have 5 people all doing one thing, every post, everything that you do is going to be different, and it's going to sound different, so you're not going to have consistency there. But what I would do is, you know, if you have these people that are in charge of your social media accounts, you know, just do an hour meeting at the beginning of the month or the end of the month for the next month, say what you want to push. We want to push enrollment. We want to push consumers coming into our facilities. We want whatever it may be, but that way you're all kind of working towards a goal. And that's really the best way to justify the time spent. So if you're not, if you're seeing that you're on LinkedIn, you've got somebody posting there, and you're not getting anything, well, maybe that's not the best use of your time. Maybe you should put a little bit more effort into Facebook, or getting another person on Snapchat, something along those lines. But the consistency of voice is all that really matters. Who is everybody familiar with Pokemon Go? I will admit it. I did play it for a week. Then I said no more. It is very addicting. I'm actually going to mention you guys. So where's Pokemon going? I don't know. It was really big but now it's kind of starting to die off. But what you're seeing is the people that are still playing it are really addicted to it and really using it. So the way to use it, like what the library is doing, I think Game Exchange has done this as well. They're actually you're doing like Pokemon stop like lure times, aren't you?
Yeah, we had a Pokemon party on the 9th of this month. We had 80 people show up.
Yeah.
Where it was just come and hang out with other people that are playing, and we had a couple of giveaways, but nothing big.
Did you guys even advertise that?
Yeah, we did a little boost on Facebook and had probably the biggest response to an event we've ever had.
Yeah, the one that was downtown that the Game Exchange did at Town Center, hundreds of people there until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's absolutely unreal. And like she said, they did one little boost, but the weird thing is these people are all very engaged and interactive with each other. Demographics? It's all over.
We had 2 70-year-old ladies come to our party, and they wanted to learn how to play. So
Yeah, if anybody wants to know how to play Pokemon, Kim here would be happy to show you.
I'm level 18.
I'm level 16 without ever having battled. So.
Yeah, I was 81, I just didn't sign in. I stayed out in the lobby and played.
Aside from the library or maybe the United Way sponsoring an event, I don't really know of a real good application for a lot of people in here, though.
Unless your building is a Pokestop or something.
Yeah, I think this is a Pokestop.
We have 2, one in the building and then like the historical sign out front is Pokestop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are, but yeah, it's trying to figure out what to do with that.
Yeah,
It's not targeting us, it's actually a historical marker that for some church, but it's right at our door.
I'm sure you're probably always in need of volunteers for various projects. Have you thought about a volunteer drive based on it, or work maybe
Since that's come about, but yeah, I mean,
partnering maybe with some other nonprofits around, and it really you can buy the lures for the Pokestops
actually,
for like $9 a day.
yeah, at Pulaski Park, the 2 of our Born Learning Trail signs are Pokestops, and that's what got me, because that is targeting young families, those signs already, so combining the 2, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet, but we could do something.
I do it
And
quick.
it's a park.
I do it quickly, because I'm afraid this is a little bit of a fad that's going to go away relatively quickly, at least in the. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's going to get cold. All right. Any other questions about the social media aspect of anything? All right. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about digital advertising opportunities. Hopefully you guys, is anybody bored yet? Nate, you look pretty bored.
Still early out.
All right. How many of you have done any kind of digital advertising in the past? Whether Google AdWords, Facebook, everybody's kind of dabbled a little bit for the most part. First thing I'm going to talk about is social media advertising. Facebook, Instagram, pros. First of all, I'll go back to everyone's on Facebook. So you're able to target and refine your audience. What Facebook knows about you is absolutely absurd. That's what I love about it. Facebook knows more about me than I know about myself. So I'm able to target incredibly small audiences. I'll give you an example. We now have a client that provides a cap that you put in the back or on the railing of a truck bed for Silverados and Sierras between the years of 2014 and 2017. I have found an audience for this product on Facebook. It exists. It blows my mind that that exists. But this product is selling at a rate like $1.35 per lead, or per your cost per acquisition is $1.35 per sale. It's unreal. So the other thing I like about Facebook advertising is the retargeting capabilities, utilizing your email database as well as utilizing your own web traffic. So somebody might not follow you on Facebook, but if you've got a few thousand people visiting your website a month, you're able to actually target to those people directly through Facebook, through Instagram. So you're able to kind of draw them back into your brand and help make sure that you're consistently in front of them. The biggest con for Facebook advertising is B2B. B2B advertising on Facebook, very difficult because you're generally not getting to the person when they're in the act of actually going to buy something. So for Miller Huggins, I don't think Facebook advertising would necessarily be the right means, because if you're going out to a business, well, really, should that person be on Facebook while they're at work? So there's multiple purposes to advertising. One is brand awareness. If that is your goal with advertising, Facebook is good. If Pandora is good, Instagram is good, all platforms are good for brand awareness. Letting people know that you exist, letting people know what you do. If your goal is conversions and sales, I'm not going to do any kind of radio advertising. I'm not going to do any kind of print advertising. I'm going to do stuff that I know will generate me leads. So I'm going to do, and I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but like search advertising. I'm going to make sure that I'm on Google AdWords. I'm going to make sure my budget's healthy. The other social media advertising platform, LinkedIn, they're, especially for, as I mentioned before, nonprofits, because they offer such a deep discounted rate on it, it's a great opportunity there. And, it's a little bit more expensive, but LinkedIn brand awareness or getting more followers on LinkedIn would be great for you guys. That is, well, they did just get purchased by Microsoft, so yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'm an Apple guy. Can't help it. All right, search advertising. Is anybody using Google AdWords right now? Well, I think this is where Miller Huggins, again, would be primary, because what you're doing with Google AdWords is you're getting in front of people that are actively searching for the product or service that you offer. So they're looking for, a beauty school, or they're looking for a copier. They're looking for office furniture. They're actively searching for whatever it is that you offer. So with that, though, comes a tremendous amount of cost. Google AdWords is not cheap. You're probably going to be spending, at minimum, $10 a day, at minimum, and if you want to effectively reach your audience. That really is the biggest con. Then I will say that is for most markets. I think pretty much, Miller Huggins, I'm pretty sure that's going to be pretty saturated, especially with major companies, like your Staples or those. You're going to be competing directly with them. The other pro here I mentioned is targeting tools. So since you guys have salesmen out in the field, I don't know how far you guys go, but I would limit that to whatever that region may be. You know, if you, yeah, 100-mile radius, whatever it may be. But that'll help kind of get your costs down and lower the competition rates. One of the beautiful things about Google AdWords is you're able to set conversion goals. So if I'm selling a product online, for instance, I'm able to say that, or I'm able to easily find out how much money I'm spending to sell a particular product. So you're able to see the efficiency and the cost effectiveness of your ad. As far as a general ROI, I don't really think there's a good way of doing that, because it's going to be dependent on how proficient you are, how good you are, how closely you monitor it. It's all with Google AdWords. It's all about the time that you put into it. Does that answer your? Yeah. The next, Bing and Yahoo. If you have the money to waste, go ahead. I think the search volume, really, it's 15%, 20%, somewhere in that range. It's really, really small. But hey, if you've got the money, why not? Next, we have display advertising. Is anybody familiar with the term display network advertising or display advertising? It's basically all the other ads you see on every other web page that's not Facebook or Google. So these tend to be kind of the more spammy ads. You know, if you go to like the clickbait sites, these are the ads that pop up. So the pros of these, again, it's retargeting, remarketing. So being able to get back in front of a person that's visited your website, or getting back in front of somebody that's on your email database. And it's relatively inexpensive to do. Because you're bidding on impression or cost per impression, you're not bidding on a cost per click basis. You're getting it at a little bit lower rate. But it is far more inefficient. You're going to get kind of a higher bounce rate, because especially on mobile, how many of you accidentally clicked on an ad inside an app? Yeah, that happens a lot. So you get a much higher bounce rate from this than you would like a Google AdWord or a Facebook app. And just in general, you have a much lower click-through rate. I think a 0.2% click-through rate is a good rate of click-through. It's really small. But it's really good for things like brand awareness. That display, I mentioned Facebook again. You have, Facebook has released kind of their audience network to mobile audiences. And anytime you click on the Facebook Instant articles, are you guys familiar with those? They've got the little lightning bolt on them. You click on them, they just instantly pop up versus having to load. Anytime you see an ad inside of those, that's the audience network. They've also integrate with a lot of the like the Candy Crush games and things like that. Any place where you see like a login with Facebook is going to be showing these types of ads. And then others, Facebook and Google account for 76% of all digital advertising revenue. 76%. So there are a lot of others out there, but you're really, for your money, better off sticking with some of the bigger sites. Because with like Display Network, for instance, I'm able to get my like Modern Trailer Sales as a client of ours. I'm able to get them on CNN. I'm able to get them on ESPN website. I'm able to get them in places that I wouldn't necessarily have been able to get them in front of. Next, online video advertising. Really, there's only two primary ones, YouTube and Facebook. Facebook video advertising, again, it offers you all of the same opportunities for targeting, remarketing, but 80% of Facebook videos are played without sound. So you're going to want to make sure that your videos are graphical. They've always got caption, thank you. Or chances are you're not really doing anything. YouTube, Same thing, you're going to get it's inefficient for any kind of click-through or anything like that. Again, what it's good for, brand awareness. How many times have I said brand awareness today? I think that's today's buzzword. But again, same thing with display network advertising. It provides you the opportunity for retargeting. So, and people are forced to generally watch YouTube ads, unfortunately. So, part 2. And the last part here, I promise it's a quick one. It's, all right, so we now have all of this information. What do I do? No matter what business you're in, these questions are going to help you define your strategy, define your market. So what do you know about your business? Now, I'm going to use Nate here, for example, since he's talking back there. I'm just going to ask you some questions and just see if you can answer them. So the first question you want to ask, are you currently getting the results that you want to from your current strategy?
No.
Okay. Do you know what you're trying to achieve?
Somewhat.
Can you define that?
Yeah. First off, I've been with Miller Huggins now for about, 4 months? And I have a business partner in it, John Rigsby. We are trying to get the name back out there to the point where everybody in Anderson should be buying local. And one thing that I've really noticed is I've been trying to extend our range to Muncie. John and I both. They buy locally. They have a lot of people that tell me, well, guys, I really appreciate you stopping in, but we buy off Thomas or Weber. They're a local company. I don't get that in Anderson. Anderson's looking for the cheapest route, or maybe the people before John and I just didn't get out there and market enough, whatever the case might be. But there's Thomas and Weber customers in Anderson. We have maybe 5 current customers in Muncie, and that's sad. Compared to, they have multiple. Along with Indianapolis, a lot of integrity one, which is, Xerox, whatever the case might be. But anyway, if we're going to get our name back out there, we're going to expand to the point where we're going to be a very, and it'd be, easy enough to do, profit, profit shareable company, where everybody in the business is making more money because as a company we're making more money. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what we need to do with that social media campaign.
I think, that's what you've kind of basically answered your own question and kind of developed your own strategy there just that quickly.
Well,
You want to be on all platforms. You are actively looking for a brand awareness again because that's been lost, and you already have your message established, just in 2 questions. So that's what the point of these questions is to actually understand your business and understand your actual needs, so you're not spinning your tires, wasting your money, wasting your efforts.
I just wanted to add, there's been a lot of talk about brand awareness for Miller Huggins. We're a customer of Miller Huggins. Years ago, we got our furniture. I always thought Miller Huggins was just supply based. There's a great opportunity there. I thought they were just suppliers, for office supplies, and I saw what looked like used furniture. So when we got our first set of furniture 4 years ago, we didn't know they had it, so we went outside. And we thought, okay, we'll get it from, I wanted to go somewhat local, so I got it from someone outside of Anderson, paid more than I wanted, they delivered it, I had to assemble it, okay? Then we expanded and we had to add furniture again, we were getting ready to buy online. I'm not real big online, I like to buy local. We were getting ready to buy, I said, why don't we just call Miller Huggins and see if they can help us out. We called Miller Huggins, found out they actually do sell brand new furniture, chairs, all kinds of stuff. We ended up getting it for less than what was online, less than what we paid down in Fisher's. They deliver it for free and they assemble it. I think if people knew all of that, they would be kicking it. So I'm just saying from personal experience, we're talking about brand awareness. I don't know if a lot of people even know what Miller Huggins does, how great the furniture is and how they deliver it and they assemble it. I mean, it's like easy. So now when we want something, we just call Miller Huggins because we assume this is going to be this easy process.
Yeah.
That, as a business owner, that's what I want. I don't want to sell my own furniture.
By the way, this presentation was not sponsored by Miller Huggins. I just know Nate really well. So I don't mind calling him out. I know Kim well, so I don't mind calling her out. So yeah, get you breakfast sponsorship. There you go. So all these, I'm gonna if everybody registered, or I think we've got some cards that you guys can fill out, so you don't have to write all these questions down. I can send you all the PowerPoint. Levi, can you send the PowerPoint out to the attendees?
Yes, you bet.
So there's another slide of questions here. So these are the questions that you're going to need to ask in order to get to know your audience, your business. Once you have these questions answered and you know and you're familiar with your business, your ideal customer, the next part is going to be your strategy. So just a couple of questions you want to ask yourself. Is your website built for success? Should you be building content on your website? What will you achieve from emailing your customer database? What social media platforms are you going to be able to utilize for your benefit based on everything that we've just learned? Are you providing good relevant content? And are you on the most efficient digital advertising platforms? Once you have these things figured out, once you've answered these questions, you're going to be on the right track for success. You're going to be spending your time wisely. You're going to be spending your time efficiently. And that's what this is all about. So it's a huge digital advertising, digital marketing, digital period it's endless. So you want to make sure that you are efficient. It's really that's all I've got. I'm out of water here, so no. Does anybody else have any other questions at all? Go for it.
So what's your opinion of the integrated social media platforms? You said you didn't like HubSpot, you like any of them?
Generally, especially for this audience, it's going to be cost. You're able to do a lot of the same things on other platforms, or utilizing multiple platforms that you could if you got kind of the all-in-one HubSpot solution. And the way HubSpot works is it's blogging. I mean, you're just nonstop writing. There are much better ways. You know, if I'm going to spend $2,000 a month, I'm going to spend that money probably on. Thank you. I'm going to spend that money on Google AdWords to try to get people to my business or try to generate leads that way. It's just a more efficient use of my time. But if I'm a community hospital, I'm probably going to use that kind of platform because I've got the finances, the funding for it. Any other questions? Go for it.
So we pay for basically cold leads, I think 20 a lead, and it,
Just for
called Beauty Schools Directory. And when you type in any kind of, you're Googling cosmetology, Anderson, anything like that, that's always the very first thing. Which is expensive per lead, plus they're usually, I mean, maybe 10%. Do I even get on the phone or in front of me? So would you say that if we either did away with that or reduced that and went to Google Ad and spent our money there, do you think that we've talked about it, but we've been scared because we've had
how many leads are you getting
approximately
a day?
15 a week?
15 a week? Okay.
One of them.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you're in that business though. I'm sure you're willing to pay a little bit higher number. But if it's that expensive for a cold lead, I think you're going to be more efficient on Facebook. I think you're going to be more efficient with just organic and your own Google AdWords. I don't think, especially if you're only converting 4 a month with all that cost, that's a huge overhead. I think you could be doing a lot better.
You said the $10 a day. I'm like, well, we're easily spending that.
We've got one client that is.
What's that?
That's a minimum though, and your guys' industry is incredibly competitive, so $10 is absolutely probably.
Yeah.
Well, that's not to say it's still not an option to consider, but it would be substantially higher probably if you guys just then cut it off.
Yeah, we've got one client, just to kind of give you an example here, one client is looking for drivers, which is an even more competitive market right now. and we are getting warm leads at that rate, at that cost. We're getting actual applicants at that cost. So I think you're high, and I think you can do better. So we have that. Any other questions? Yes, Levi.
I guess maybe a comment. You know, I know we're saying that offices like Miller-Huggins should steer away from Facebook, but I think all depending upon the campaign or what kind of advertising they're using, they could redirect a whole different marketing scheme towards the social side of businesses.
I'm not saying, I'm definitely not saying stay away from Facebook. I'm just saying that's probably not your best tool for lead generation and probably not where I'm going to spend the most time. I'm going to have an active presence on Facebook. If you guys haven't noticed, I really like Facebook. I talk about it all the time for that reason. People use it. It's out there. Everyone uses Facebook. So even if it's just, another box in a search result, having good content on there, having a lot of followers on there is essential for any business.
It could be something, I think just to go, but we just bought a copier from them. But I went online, I did what probably businesses hate. I went online, saw the product they were offering, found out about it from other businesses, and made the decision to go local. Because I know if it breaks down, they're down the road.
Yeah.
But we could have put a thing on a Facebook page for them that said, hey, we just, in Madison County just bought this copier, to let local people know that there's another business they know.
That's definitely, that's a,
I see people, realtors doing that with, hey, this family just bought a house, or this person just had a great haircut.
yeah, you guys do like monthly service agreements, right? Could
Rebranded the whole company in the last 2 years. Really taken down our old logo of 80 years and came out in the last 4 years with a whole new logo with cowboy we did. Our logo had a statement that said everything for every office. We get outside of our marketplace and everybody didn't know that was a accounting firm, a law firm. They didn't know what that meant. And so we had to get away from that. So we had to rebrand and actually say what we did underneath our name. So now we have supplies, janitorial, equipment, service, we're rebranding it just so we have to start there, we have to start at the bottom and start rebuilding ourselves back out there.
I understand a simple photo and a Facebook post.
Yeah, and there's easy way. Like I said, I know you guys do service agreements. There's a real easy way of incentivizing. First month free with a Facebook review, a Google review, or a photo share from your business page. Something simple like that. What it's $30 or so a month. Just throwing a number out there, but that $30 is invaluable.
So you say you still have to invest in marketing, not just trying to do it.
It is a lot for one person to do. And yes, investing in marketing is going to get you a return. I'm a marketing company, I have to say that, right? But no, I mean it.
No, but you're talking, $10 a day.
Yeah.
That's approximately $300 a month. It's not a bad price for marketing your business.
Right.
Very targeted plan.
Yeah. And again, with Facebook, it's even cheaper. You can do $5 a day. You can do $1 a day. That'll get you some kind of presence. Right. Yeah. You have to invest in any business to make it grow. It's not gonna, sometimes you'll catch a break and it'll grow on its own. It'll become its own thing. It'll be the next Pokemon Go. But there's a million failed businesses for every Pokemon Go.